Emile Zola speaks at his Libel trial defense. You have heard the witnesses. You are about to hear my counsel, who will tell you the true story, the story that maddens everybody and that everybody knows. I am, therefore, at my ease. You have the truth at last, and it will do its work. Emile thought it to dictate your decision by entrusting to you the honor of the army, and it is in the name of the honor of the army that I too appeal to your justice. You know the legend which has grown up. Dreyfus was condemned justly and legally by 7 infallible officers, whom it is impossible even to suspect of a blunder without insulting the whole army. Dreyfus expiates in merited torments his abominable crime, and as he is a Jewish syndicate is formed, an international sans-patrie syndicate disposing of hundreds of millions, the object of which is to save the traitor at any price, even by the most shameless intrigues. And thereupon the syndicate began to heap crime on crime, buying consciences, precipitating France into a disastrous tumult, resolved on selling her to the enemy, willing even to drive all Europe into a general war rather than renounce its terrible plan. It is very simple, nay, childish, if not imbecile. But it is with this poisoned bread that the unclean press has been nourishing our poor people now for months. And it is not surprising if we are witnessing a dangerous crisis, for when folly and lies are thus sown broadcast, you necessarily reap insanity. Gentlemen, I would not insult you by supposing that you have yourselves been duped by this nursery tale. I know you. I know who you are. You are the heart and the reason of Paris, of my great Paris, where I was born, which I love with an infinite tenderness, which I have been studying and writing of now for 40 years. And I know likewise what is now passing in your brains, for, before coming to sit here as defendant, I sat there on the bench where you are now. You represent there the average opinion. You try to illustrate prudence and justice in the mass. Soon I shall be thought with you in the room where you deliberate, and I am convinced that your effort will be to safeguard your interests as citizens, which are, of course, the interests of the whole nation. You may make a mistake, but you will do so in the thought that while securing your own weal, you are securing the weal of all. I see you at your homes at evening under the lamp. I hear you talk with your friends. I accompany you in your factories and shops. You are all workers, some tradesmen, others manufacturers, some professional men, and your very legitimate anxiety is the deplorable state into which business has fallen. Everywhere the present crisis threatens to become a disaster. The receipts fall off. Transactions become more and more difficult. So that the idea which you have brought here, the thought which I read in your countenances, is that there has been enough of this, and that it must be ended. You have gone the length of saying, like many, what matters it that an innocent man is at the Ile du Diable? Is the interest of a single man worth the disturbing a great country? But you say, nevertheless, that the agitation which we are carrying on, we who hunger for truth and justice, costs too dearly. And if you condemn me, gentlemen, it is that thought which will be at the bottom of your verdict. You desire tranquility for your homes. You wish for the revival of business, and you may think that by punishing me you will stop a campaign which is injurious to the interests of France. Well, gentlemen, if that is your idea, you are entirely mistaken. Do me the honor of believing that I am not defending my liberty. By punishing me, you would only magnify me. Whoever suffers for truth and justice becomes the august and sacred. Look at me. Have I the look of a hireling, of a liar, and a traitor? Why should I be playing a part? I have behind me neither political ambition nor sectarian passion. I am a free rider who has given his life to labor, who tomorrow will go back to the ranks and resume his interrupted task. Do you not understand now that what the nation is dying of is the darkness in which there is such an obstinate determination to leave her? The blunders of those in authority are being heaped upon those of others. One lie necessitates another, so that the mass is becoming formidable. A judicial blunder was committed, and then to hide it, it has been necessary to commit every day fresh crimes against good sense and equity. The condemnation of an innocent man has involved an acquittal of a guilty man, and now today you are asked in turn to condemn me because I have cried out in my anguish on beholding our country embarked on this terrible course. Condemn me then. But it will be one more error added to the others. a fault the burden of which you will hear in history. And my condemnation, instead of restoring the peace for which you long, which we all of us desire, will be only a fresh seed of passion and disorder. The cup, I tell you, is full. Do not make it run over. Why do you not judge justly the terrible crisis through which the country is passing? They say that we are the authors of the scandal, that we, who are lovers of truth and justice, are leading the nation astray and urging it to violence. Surely this is mockery. The Dreyfus case, gentlemen, has now become a very small affair. It is lost in the view of formidable questions which it has given rise. There is no longer a Dreyfus case. The question now is whether France is still the France of the rights of man, France which gave freedom to the world and ought to give it justice. Are we still the most noble, the most fraternal, the most generous of nations? Shall we preserve our reputation in Europe for justice and humanity? Are not all the victories that we have won called in question? Open your eyes and understand that, to be in such confusion, the French soul must have been stirred to its depths in the face of a terrible danger. A nation cannot thus be moved without imperiling its moral existence. This is an exceptionally serious hour. The safety of a nation is at stake. When you have understood that, gentlemen, you will feel that but one remedy is possible: to tell the truth, to do justice. Anything that keeps back the light, anything that adds darkness to darkness, will only prolong and aggravate the crisis. The duty of good citizens, of all who feel to be imperatively necessary to put an end to this matter, is to demand broad daylight. Alas, gentlemen, like so many others, you expect the thunderbolt to descend from heaven in proof of the innocence of Dreyfus. Truth does not come thus. It requires research and knowledge. We know well where the truth is, or where it might be found, but we dream of that only in the recess of our souls, and we feel patriotic anguish lest we expose ourselves to the danger of having this proof some day cast in our face after having involved the honor of the army in a falsehood. I wish also to declare positively, though in the official notice of our list of witnesses we included certain ambassadors, we had decided in advance not to call them. Our boldness has provoked smiles, but I do not think that there was any real smiling in our Foreign Office, for there they must have understood. We intend to say to those who know the whole truth that we also know it. This truth is gossiped about at the embassies. Tomorrow it will be known to all, and if it is now impossible for us to seek it where it is concealed by official red tape, the government which is not ignorant, the government which is convinced, as we are, of the innocence of Dreyfus, will be able, whenever it likes and without risk, to find witnesses who will demonstrate everything. Dreyfus is innocent. I swear it. I stake my life on it, my honor. At this solemn moment, in the presence of this tribunal, which is the representative of human justice, before you, gentlemen, who are the very incarnation of the country, before the whole of France, before the whole world, I swear that Dreyfus is innocent. By my 40 years of work, by the authority that this toil may have given me, I swear that Dreyfus is innocent. By all I have now, by the name I have made for myself, by my works which have helped for the expansion of French literature, I swear that Dreyfus is innocent. May all that melt away, may my works perish if Dreyfus is not innocent. He is innocent. All seems against me. The two chambers, the civil authority, the most widely circulated journals, the public opinion which they have poisoned. And I have for me only an ideal of truth and justice. But I am quite calm. I shall conquer. I was determined that my country should not remain the victim of lies and injustice. I may be condemned here. The day will come when France will thank me for having helped to save her honor.